Hi guys. Yeah. Online students, can you see my screen? Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Ashok sir. Your voice is not
Last session,
high.
we understood several.
Sir, your voice is very low, sir.
Software industry. We discussed about how many types of companies available, what is broad-based company,
We are not able to
Your
hear, sir.
voice is not
Hello,
audible.
sir. Your voice is low.
and what is outsourcing company also we discussed.
Hello, Ashok.
Yes, now clear.
Hello, Ashok sir.
Yes,
Your
sir.
voice is not audible, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sir, your voice is
Yes.
very low. We can't hear your voice.
So people who are not able to hear, you can see the video is live stream in the YouTube as well. Yep. Is it audible now?
Now you are audible.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect, guys. Now we discussed several details related to software industry. What is broad-based company? What is service-based company? What is outsourcing company? And we discussed how the interview process will be there in those companies. If you are going for product-based company, then we need to learn data structures, algorithms, and all that stuff. If we are going for service-based company, latest technologies are important. Then how many types of software jobs will be available? That also we discussed. Permanent job and contract job. How many types of projects will be available? That also we discussed. How many types of projects will be available? 3 types of projects will be available. Maintenance project will be available. Scratch development project will be there. Migration projects also will be available. How many types of teams will be available? Mainly 2 teams will be available. One is called onshore, another one is offshore. What is the difference between onshore and offshore team? Offshore team means developers, testers, and operations teams will be available. Onshore team means they will be working in the client location. Mainly functional team will be available in the onshore. In the company, bridge calls will be there to communicate with onshore team members. Onshore and offshore team members will communicate with the bridge call. That is nothing but a meeting. How I am conducting the Zoom meeting? Similarly, in the company, Teams meeting will be available. Microsoft Teams software we will use in most of the companies for the meetings. Once the meeting is completed, we need to send MOM. What is MOM? Minutes of meeting. What we discussed in that meeting, we have to summarize and we have to send to all the team members. So role structure will be available. That is different from project. That is different from company to company basically. Good. So today we are starting with our second module in the course, that is real-time tools. Now in the project, along with the coding, we need to work with some tools also to automate some manual work, to simplify our operations in the real time. We are going to use several tools. In every project, the tools will be available. So that's why we are calling them as real-time tools. So here, what are the tools that we need to learn as a Java developer? In the course content, I have given already what are the real-time tools that are required. Jira tool is required. Jira is used for project management. That means what are the tasks are available in the project, which tasks are pending, which tasks are completed, who is working on which task. That complete project management will be done by using Jira. So Jira is used for project management, as well as Jira is used for bug reporting also. Any bugs identified by the testing team, they will report the bugs to the developers in the Jira. And the next one, Maven and Gradle tools are available. Maven and Gradle tools are called as build tools. They are used to create the project, download the dependencies, compile the project, package the project as a jar or war. The project build process will done by Maven or Gradle. The next one, GitHub and Bitbucket tools are available. They are called as version control softwares. So all the developers code will be integrated at one place. For that we can go for either GitHub or Bitbucket. Fine. Next one, logging tools will be available. When the application code is executing, we need to generate log messages of our application to understand execution flow of the project and to understand exceptions occurring in the project. When customers are using our application, there is a chance of getting the problem. What are the problems we are getting in the application? We can identify by using this log messages. So application should have logging. To generate the log messages, we can go for log4j, log4j2, logback or logstash. Once the log messages are generated, we should be able to monitor the logs. To monitor the logs, we will go for putty, WinSCP and Splunk. Nowadays, most of the companies are going for Splunk software, which is a commercial software to monitor logs of the application. Then after, unit testing will be done in the project. Whatever the code we are writing, we need to verify that the code is working as expected or not. For that, we will use a concept called JUnit. JUnit is a framework which is used to perform unit testing of our application. As part of JUnit, we are going to use some Mockito frameworks. JUnit plus Mockito we are going to use to perform unit testing. Once unit testing is completed, we will go for code coverage. What is the code coverage? Come on, what is the code coverage? What is the code coverage, guys? Code coverage is used to identify how many lines of code is tested in the unit testing. So unit testing we are doing by using JUnit. As part of that unit testing, in my project, 100 lines of code is available. In those 100 lines, how many lines of code is tested by JUnit? That coverage report we will get by using code coverage. Which tool we will use for code coverage? Jacoco we are going to use for code coverage. Next one, code review. Which tool we will use for the code review? SonarQube we are going to use for the code review. What is the meaning of code review? What is the meaning of code review? Come on, guys. What is the purpose of code review? Code review is used to identify mistakes done by the developers. So developers will write the code. Developers will do some mistakes in the code. What are the mistakes done by the developers can be identified by a tool called SonarQube. Next one. What is the purpose of JMeter? What is the purpose of JMeter? JMeter is used for performance testing. What is the meaning of performance testing? It is used to verify stability of the application. If 1,000 users access my application, how it is behaving? If 10,000 users access my application, how it is behaving? If 1 lakh users access my application, how it is behaving? We can test that stability of the project by using JMeter. Then what is a Jenkins? Jenkins is used for deploying the project. It is called as CI/CD software, continuous integration and continuous deployment. Docker is called containerization software. Kubernetes is called as orchestration platform. Apache Kafka for distributed messages streaming, message broker. Apache Kafka is called as message broker. If one application want to exchange the messages with the another application, simple example. If you search some product in the Flipkart, then you log in into Facebook. Whatever the mobile you search in the Flipkart, same mobile will display in the Facebook also. So that means Facebook and Flipkart are connected by using Apache Kafka. So whatever the products you are searching in the Flipkart, Your search history will be given to the Facebook through Apache Kafka. If one message want to exchange the information with the one application, want to send the details to another application, in that we are going to use Apache Kafka as a message broker. Currently, this Apache Kafka is having lot of demand in the market. So many projects are using Apache Kafka. Getting my point? Next one, Redis cache. Redis cache to reduce DB calls. In my application, we are going to communicate with the database for several times. I want to reduce the database communications in my project to improve the performance. Then we will go for which software? Redis cache. Next one, Postman. What is the purpose of Postman? It is used to test REST APIs in the project. We are going to develop REST APIs. To test the REST APIs, we will use a tool called Postman tool. Then we are going for Swagger. What is the purpose of Swagger? Swagger is used to generate REST API documentation. Whatever the REST API we are developing, to generate the documentation for the REST API, we are using a concept called Swagger. Are you clear with my point? Now, I will ask the name of the tool. You need to tell me what is the purpose of that tool. Okay, guys, fine. So the first one, what is the purpose of GitHub? What is the purpose of GitHub? It is called as which software? It is called as version control software to store project source code. GitHub is used to store the project source code. What is the alternate for the GitHub? What is the alternate for the GitHub? So alternate for the GitHub is Bitbucket. Some projects will use GitHub, some projects will use Bitbucket. So multiple developers will be available in the project. All the developers code should be integrated at one place. For that we are going for GitHub or Bitbucket. It is called as version control software. Now see here, in the real time, one developer will be available in the project. Multiple developers will be available in the project. Multiple developers will be available in the project. Now assume that this is one developer. This developer working from Hyderabad location. This developer working from Hyderabad location and another developer working from Bangalore location, another developer from Chennai, another developer from Delhi, one person from Mumbai. But all the developers working on the same project, but they are working from different location. So one person developing login functionality, another person developing registration functionality, another developer developing forgot password functionality. Like this, people are available in the different locations working on the same project. Now, all the developers' code should be integrated at one place because they are working on the same project. That code should be available at one place. To integrate all the developers' code at one place, we are going to create a repository for our project. That repository can be a GitHub repository or Bitbucket repository. So assume that I'm going for GitHub. In the GitHub, one repository will be created. Now, all these developers will connect it to this GitHub repository. Whatever the code they are writing, they will store into GitHub repository. That one first developer code will be available in the GitHub. All the developers code will be available in the GitHub. Whatever the code you are writing, I can download that from the GitHub. Whatever the code I am writing, you can download that from the GitHub. So that is code integration. In the project, code integration is required. So to integrate that code, we are going for GitHub. Not only code integration, the GitHub is going to provide monitored access. Monitored access means who modified the code, when modified the code, what modified, why modified, everything it is going to track. So yesterday, I have done some coding part. I kept my code in the GitHub. My code was working yesterday. Today, when I come to the office, when I see my code is not working, I observed that somebody modified that code. Who modified? I can easily track that. when modified, why modified, what modified, where modified, everything I can track it by using this GitHub. GitHub is used for code integration as well as monitoring the source code changes, which developer created which Java class, which developer modified which Java class, when modified, why modified, where modified, everything we can track it. It will maintain the history of the changes. Are you guys getting my point? Yes, we understood what is the GitHub. Can you tell me what is the purpose of the GitHub? GitHub is used for managing code integration and monitoring code changes, right? So developers code will be integrated in the GitHub. So the developers can connect to the GitHub repository from any location. Developers will not be in the same location in the same office. People will be working from different locations. They will be working on different requirements. All the code will be integrated in the GitHub. Are you guys clear with my point? Next one. What is alternate for the GitHub? Bitbucket. Perfect. Next one, we are going to see what is a Maven. Can you guys tell me what is a Maven? What is a Maven? Maven is a build tool. Maven is a build tool. What is the alternate for the Maven? Yes. Earlier for the earlier Ant was available. Ant replaced by Maven. Now Maven is replacing by Gradle. So what is the alternate for the Maven? Gradle is the alternate for the Maven. Okay, fine. Sir, what is the purpose of going for Maven? Now here my project is available. Assume that I want to develop one Java project. So are we going to develop the project by using only Java? Only JDK sufficient? Only JDK sufficient to develop the project? JDK not sufficient to develop the project? JDK not sufficient to develop the project. Along with the Java, we need Java to develop the project, and we need Hibernate to develop the project. We need Spring to develop the project. We need Spring Boot to develop the project. We need Kafka. We need Redis. We need security. We need JUnit, etc. Our project will use different technologies and different frameworks also as part of our development. Now, so Sun Microsystem provided just JDK. Sun Microsystem provided JDK. Hibernate developed by other company. Spring and Spring Boot developed by one company. Kafka developed by one company. Redis developed by one company. JUnit developed by another company. In order to develop my project, I need to download all those technologies and all those frameworks. It is very difficult for the developer to go and download all the projects jar files to develop our project. Are you getting my point? So in order to avoid this problem, we are going to use Maven as a build tool. We are using Maven as a build tool. What is the advantage of going for that Maven? What is the advantage of going for the Maven? In the Spring Boot class we are seeing, am I downloading the Spring framework? Maven is downloading the Spring framework. Maven is downloading the Spring framework. What Maven can do is, Maven can create project. Maven can create the project folder structure, download dependencies. Maven can download dependencies. What is the meaning of downloading the dependencies? So what are the jar files are required to develop our project? Instead of we are downloading the jar files, Maven can download the jar files. You just need to tell to Maven, Maven, I want a Hibernate 5.5.5 version. Maven, I want to Spring 5.6.3 version. I want to Spring Boot 2.7.9 version. I want to Kafka 2.1 version. I want to JUnit 5.1 version. Just we need to tell what we need for our project. Maven will download and Maven will give the jars for our project. So that is called downloading the dependencies. I want to create standalone project. Maven can create the project structure. I want to create a web application. Maven can create the project structure. I want a Hibernate. I want a Spring. I want a JUnit. Maven can download that. So Maven can create the project. Maven can download the dependencies. Maven can compile our project. So we are writing the Java code. Assume that project contains 1 lakh Java classes. So those .java files I want to compile. Maven can compile within fraction of a milliseconds. Maven is going to download the dependencies. Maven is going to compile our project source code into bytecode. .java files will be converted to .class file, and Maven can execute JUnits. If you are writing JUnit classes for unit testing, those JUnit classes also will be executed by Maven, and Maven can package our project as a jar file or war file. Standalone application I want to run as a jar. Web application I want to run as a war file. So to create that jar file or war file, we can use the Maven software. So these all the steps are called as build process of the project. In the real time, whenever we modify the code, we need to compile the code, we need to execute the test cases, we need to package our project as a jar file or war file. Instead of we are doing all these activities, we can automate these activities by using Maven software. Are you guys able to follow me? Good. So what is Maven? Can you guys tell me? What is Maven? Maven is a build tool. What is the purpose of this build tool? To automate build process of the application. To automate the build process of the application, we are going to use Maven. So Maven is used only for Java projects. Maven is developed by using Java. Maven is used only for Java projects. If you want to use the tool for other projects also, like Kotlin, Groovy, then you can go for Gradle. Gradle supports for multiple programming languages. Maven supports only Java language. Are you getting my point? Yes. So we understood what is GitHub. So by using GitHub, what we can do, guys? Integrate the code, monitor code changes. Monitor code changes can be done by using this GitHub. By using Maven, we can create the project, we can download the dependencies by using Maven, and we can compile the project by using Maven. We can execute the unit test cases of the project by using Maven. We can create the project as a jar file or war file by using Maven. Are you getting my point? Yes. Next one, what is the purpose of Jira? What is the purpose of Jira? Come on, guys. What is the purpose of Jira? Jira is called as which is software, but project management, and also we can call it as bug reporting software. We have developed the code. Testing team is testing that code. Testing team identified login functionality not working. They will not do a phone call for you to say that login functionality not working. They will simply go to Jira. They will create a bug in the Jira. They will assign to the developer. So you will get an email from the Jira. This bug is assigned to you. You need to check the bug. What is the bug? When that bug occurred, which functionality not working, then you need to fix that bug. So developers and testers will communicate with the Jira. So bug reporting will happen in the Jira. Now I am a team lead. I want to assign the task for you today. I will not call you to my cabin to assign the task. I will just assign the task in the Jira. You will get the email. Every day morning, when you open the system, first you need to check the Jira dashboard. What are the tasks assigned on your name? Those tasks you have to complete on that day. At the end of the day, we need to update the meeting we need to update status to the Scrum Master. Today, which task you have worked on, what is the status of the task, when that task is going to complete. So complete history will be maintained in the Jira. So Jira is called as project management software, and it is also used for bug reporting. So here, by using Jira, task assignment will happen. Task assignment. For the team members, tasks will be assigned by using Jira, and it is also used for bug report. Testers will report the bugs. Developer has to fix that bug. Getting my point? Yes. Next one, we are going to use log4j. What is the purpose of log4j? What is the purpose of log4j? To implement logging. To implement logging, we are going to use log4j. What is the logging? What is the logging? Come on, guys. What is the logging? What is the logging? Yes, correct. What is the logging? Storing application execution details to a file. So which method is executed, when that method executed, which exception occurred, why that exception, what is that exception? Store application execution details. Store application execution details to a file. You can store to the file, you can store to the console, you can store to the database also. In every project in the real time, logging will be available. For example, if the logging is not available in the project, what is the problem? If logging is not available in the project, then what is the problem? Guys, use your brain and answer. If logging is not implemented in the project, what is the problem? We don't understand which functionality failing, when it is failed, what failed, why failed. You can't find the problem. Customers will say, I'm not able to log in. Why they are not able to log in, we cannot understand. So for every project in the real time, logging is required. To implement the logging, which software is available? Log4j is available. So what is the meaning of logging? Store application execution details to a file or console or DB. It helps in understanding exceptions of the project. Exceptions occurred in the project. When the project functionality is not working, why it is not working, which method, which line number is giving the exception, we can troubleshoot the problem by seeing the log messages. Now tell me, what is the purpose of Splunk? Come on, guys. What is the purpose of Splunk? To monitor log messages of our application. To monitor log messages of our application. What are the alternates available? Putty and WinSCP is available. Earlier, people used to work with the Putty and WinSCP. Now people are going for Splunk. What is the meaning of log monitoring? 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 Means monitoring the log. Reading the log messages available in the log file. That is called log monitoring. Monitoring means reading the log messages which are available in the log file. Who will store the log messages to the log file? Log4j is going to store that. In the project, we need to implement log4j. By using that log4j, we will store the log messages to the log file. When there is a problem, I need to read the log messages. Which is software I will use to read the log messages? Splunk software we are going to use to read the log messages. What is the purpose of JUnit? What is the purpose of JUnit, guys? Come on. What is the purpose of JUnit? Unit testing framework. What is the purpose of JUnit? Unit testing framework. So here, whatever the code you have created to test your code is working as expected or not, we are going to use JUnit software. Whatever the code we have created to test our code is working as expected or not, we are going to use JUnit. Unit testing framework to identify code behavior. How our code is behaving in the runtime. How our code is executing. Is our code executing as expected or not? That we are going to do by using JUnit. Along with the JUnit, we are going to use mocking. So these are used for unit testing purpose. Then what is the purpose of JACOCO? What is the purpose of JACOCO? JACOCO is used for code coverage. What is the meaning of code coverage? Identify how many lines of code is tested in the unit testing. So tell me, what is the purpose of code coverage? Identify how many lines of code is tested in unit testing. Industry standard coverage. What is the industry standard? Industry standard is 80%. Industry standard is 80%. So in your project, if 100 lines available, 80 lines should be tested in the unit testing minimum. If you do 100%, excellent. At least you need to test 80% of the code. So that how many lines of code is tested in the unit testing, we will identify by using a tool called JACOCO. JACOCO is used for code coverage. JUnit is used for testing the code. Splunk is used to monitor log messages. Log4j is used to generate the log messages. Jira is used for project management. Maven is used for build purpose. GitHub is used for version control purpose. Are you clear? Next one, Sonar Cube. What is the purpose of Sonar Cube? What is the purpose of Sonar Cube? I'm not getting the voice properly. Sonar Cube is used for code review. What is the meaning of code review? What is the meaning of code review? Identify developers' mistakes. Identify developers' mistakes in code. Identify developers' mistakes in the code. Identify duplicate code in the project. Identify security issues. Identify security issues in the code. Security issues in the code. Are you getting my point? So every developer should know how to perform the code review to identify what are the mistakes we have done in the code. So if I look at the code, everything looks proper. But when I do the review, then we will find out actual mistakes we have done in the code. Naming conventions. So it is going to identify developers' mistake. Check for naming conventions. Check the naming conventions that we are following in the code. Java language has given some naming conventions. Are you following those naming conventions or not? We can check by using Sonar Cube. So whatever the code I'm writing, same code you are also writing in the project. Duplicate code should not be available. So if duplicate code is available, we can identify that by using Sonar Cube. If any security issues are available in the project, that can be identified by using Sonar Cube. Good. Next one. What is the purpose of Jenkins? What is the purpose of Jenkins? Come on. Jenkins is used for continuous integration and continuous deployment. Continuous integration and continuous deployment we are going to do by using Jenkins to automate deployments. To automate deployments. So whenever I modify the code, immediately my code should be deployed into server. So it should package, it should compile, it should package, it should be deployed into server. If you just click the button, that code will be deployed into server. Jenkins. Jenkins is having lot of demand in the market. So every developer should know how to work with the Jenkins. If you observe recently, we conducted one workshop on the Jenkins. That time you guys did not attend. You don't know what is that. So if you go to videos, most popular videos, 3 months back I uploaded a video on the Jenkins. It reached 56,000 views. That much demand is there for the Jenkins. So every developer should know what is the Jenkins, how to work with the Jenkins. Are you getting my point? Jenkins is used for CI/CD. What is the meaning of CI/CD? Continuous integration and continuous deployment. 2 years back also I uploaded a video on the Jenkins. How to deploy Spring Boot application with the Jenkins. Live deployment. So Spring Boot project is there. I want to deploy that Spring Boot project into Tomcat server by using Jenkins. Right? So 2 months back I conducted a workshop again because that Jenkins is required for the developers, as well as for testers, as well as for the DevOps engineers also. What is the Jenkins? CI/CD software. It is used to automate deployment. What is the meaning of deployment? What is the meaning of deployment? Taking the project war file, keep in the server. So in the advanced Java, we created the war file manually. We have taken that war file, we deployed in the server. That manual process will not be there in the company. Company looks for automation. If I click a button, code should deploy in the server. For that, we will go for Jenkins. Right. Next one. We are going to use a tool called Postman. What is the purpose of a Postman? What is the purpose of Postman? Postman is used for, come on, to test REST API functionality. So whenever I develop a REST API, user interface will not be available for the REST API. REST API is a pure backend application. UI will not be available to test it. So that's why we are going to use a tool called Postman. So every Java developer should know Postman. Postman not only for Java, even .NET people will use, Python people will use, PHP people also will use. Anybody who is developing the REST API, they will use this Postman to test that REST API functionality. Are you guys clear? Next one, we should know about a tool called Swagger. What is the purpose of Swagger? What is the purpose of Swagger? To generate documentation for REST API. To generate the documentation for the REST API, we are going to use a tool called Swagger. What is the difference between Postman and Swagger? What is the difference between Postman and Swagger? Postman is used to test REST API functionality. What is the purpose of Swagger? It is used to generate documentation for the REST API. Are you guys clear with my point? Yes, perfect. What is the purpose of Jenkins? Jenkins is used to automate our application deployment process. And we are having another tool called Apache Kafka. What is Apache Kafka? What is Apache Kafka? It is called as message broker. What is the meaning of a message broker? One project can send the data to another project by using Kafka. The best example I already told you. When you do some search for the products in the Flipkart or Amazon, so if you log in the Facebook, same product will display as an advertisement. How this Facebook will know what you have searched in the Flipkart or Amazon? Flipkart and Amazon will give your search history to the Facebook application by using Apache Kafka. Apache Kafka is called as a message broker. Two applications will communicate with Apache Kafka. And one more example. You are booking food in the Swiggy. How delivery boy will get the notification? Swiggy application will send the notification to the delivery boy. So here also messages will be sent by using Kafka. When I book a cab in the Uber or Ola, how it will go to the driver, cab driver? Message will be sent. So that message brokerage will happen by using Apache Kafka. Next one. We are going to use another tool in the real time, which is called Redis Cache. Now see, so I think 6-7 months back, we conducted a workshop on Apache Kafka. Right, Apache Kafka. So I explained Apache Kafka for almost 4 hours. That video I conducted on Apache Kafka for 4 hours. Exactly 1 year back, that video I have uploaded. Apache Kafka. How much time it took? 3 minutes or 3 hours? 3 hours 23 minutes I have explained what is Apache Kafka. So when you go for Apache Kafka, one application is going to communicate with the another application. Apache Kafka will be used as a message broker. Apache Kafka will be used as a message broker. Now see, so here one application will publish a message to the Apache Kafka. Another applications are going to take the message from the Kafka. Apache Kafka is used as a message broker. Now see here. That is the architecture of the Apache Kafka. One Spring Boot application is publishing the message to the Apache Kafka. Another Spring Boot application subscribing the message from the Kafka. So two applications are exchanging the data by using Kafka as a mediator. Nowadays in the microservices, we are using Apache Kafka to develop event-driven microservices. When you send a request to one microservice, that will send the message to the Kafka. Kafka will give the message to the another microservice. Based on the event, our microservices are going to execute. Getting my point? Yes. Next one, Redis cache. So Redis cache is used to improve performance of our application by reducing the database calls. Are you guys getting my point? It is used to reduce the database calls. For example, if you go to a project, I want to display countries. Countries are going to change for every request. Countries are static. Countries are static or countries going to change for every request. Now see here, I want to register. When first user click on the register, country names are coming in the drop down. When second user click on the register, should I get the country names again from the database? For every user, do I need to get the countries names from the database? Why no? Countries are dynamic data. Countries are static data. Static data. If I get from the database one time, if I get for 1 lakh times also, data is not going to change. When the data is not changing, why should I execute a query every time to get the countries? I will get the countries only one time. I will keep in the cache. Whenever my application want that data, my application will get the data from the cache instead of getting from the database. Are you guys clear with my point? So what is the purpose of cache? To improve, to reduce number of DB calls. Number of DB calls to fetch static data. What is the meaning of static data? Hemant. What is the purpose of static data? What is the static data? What is the static data? The data is not going to change in the future. So whatever the data available in the table 1 year back, today also same data is available. To get the same data, I don't want to execute the query every time. I want to get the data only one time. I want to store in the cache. When my application wants the data, I will get it from the cache instead of getting from the database. So what is the advantage if I do this operation? Application performance will be improved. So what are the cache we are going to use? Redis cache we are going to use in the project. Are you able to follow me? Yes, perfect. Now, there are some other tools also available in the market that developers should know. One is Docker. Docker is used for containerization. Sir, what is this containerization? In simple terminology, I want to run my application. Only code is sufficient or code is not sufficient? Only code is sufficient, code is not sufficient. Code is not sufficient. To run our application, along with the code, some softwares are required. Are you getting my point? So what are the softwares required? For example, yesterday only in the morning, I conducted a demo on the Docker, and I think I have already uploaded. So see here, this is the Docker class that I uploaded 15 hours ago. So what is the Docker? What is the purpose of the Docker? I explained here. Now see, in my project, I want to use Angular. I want to use Angular for the front end. So my application will be developed by using Angular in the front end. Backend will be developed by using Java. Database I'm using as Oracle. And I want to use a Tomcat server to run my application. So if I want to run the project, I need to install the Angular. I need to install the Java. I need to install the database. I need to install the Tomcat. If you want to run a project in the computer. But if you go for a Docker, you no need to install all the softwares. You just give the code, Docker will download all the required softwares to run our application. That is called containerization. So I want to run my project in the 10 computers. So if I want to run my project, if I have only code, is it sufficient? Only code is not sufficient. Along with the code, some softwares we have to install in the computer. Java should be installed, Angular should be installed, database should be installed, and Tomcat server also we need to install. So now, suppose for example, I want to run my application in the 100 computers. Then what I need to do? In 100 computers, I need to install all the softwares. My project requires Java 11 version. By mistake, I have installed Java 8. Then project will work or project will not work? Project will not work. Such kind of problems will come in the real time. To overcome those problems, now companies are using Docker. Companies are using Docker. So if I go for a Docker, what is the advantage? What is the advantage? Let me show you. Let me show you. So what is the advantage if I go for a Docker? See here. Whatever the code I want to run, my code will be available. To run my code, what are the softwares are required? I want Java 11. I want Tomcat 9. I want Oracle 15G. And I want Angular 14 version. What are the softwares are required to run our application? I will tell to the Docker by writing a Docker file. This is my project war file. And these are the softwares I want. So like this, I'm going to specify this is my application code. That is a jar file or war file. To run that jar or war, I need a Linux machine. I need a Linux operating system. I need Java 11. I need Angular 14. I need Oracle 15. I need Tomcat 9. What are the softwares are required to run my code? I'm going to configure in the Docker and I will run my project. So then Docker will download all the softwares which are required to run our project. You no need to install Java manually. You no need to install Tomcat manually. Everything will be taken care by Docker. Are you guys getting my point? Yes, tell me, what is the purpose of Docker? Docker will take care of the softwares that are required to run our application in any computer. So if you have a computer, you just run the Docker project. So Docker will install all the softwares required for your project. Are you getting my point? Yes. Now here, Docker is used for containerization. If you want to do automation of the Docker containers, then we are going to use a software called Kubernetes. Kubernetes is called as K8s. Between K and S, 8 characters are available. That's why it is called as K8s, Kubernetes. Kubernetes is called as orchestration platform. Sir, what is the meaning of orchestration? Orchestration, nothing but management. So how many Docker containers we have to create? When to create the Docker container, when to delete the Docker container, increase the count of the container, decrease the count of the container. That the Docker containers automation can be done by using Kubernetes. Are you able to follow me? So there are jobs only on the Dockers and Kubernetes in the market. That much demand is there. Only for Dockers and Kubernetes. So yesterday, I started a batch on the Dockers and Kubernetes. 250 people joined for that class. Now you understand. In those 250, 200 plus people are already working in the industry with 4 to 5 years of experience. Already they are doing the job. Some people are Java people, some people are DevOps people. Why they are coming for Dockers and Kubernetes? So without Dockers and Kubernetes, no project will be available in the real time. So who will install all the softwares manually in all the computers when the tool is automating that? And that too, Docker and Kubernetes are free softwares. Whatever the tools I discussed here, only this Splunk is commercial. Remaining all the Jira is also commercial. Splunk is commercial. Remaining all softwares are free of cost. You can directly use them. No need to pay anything for that. Only Jira is commercial. Splunk is commercial. That too, Jira and Splunk, we can use a trial version. Docker Kubernetes 100% free of cost. So nowadays in the industry, every project is using Dockers and Kubernetes to do more automation. More automation will be available. Perfect. So tell me, what is the purpose of Docker? What is the purpose of Docker, guys? Docker is used for, come on, containerization. It will download the required dependencies. Then what is the purpose of Kubernetes? Kubernetes is used for orchestration. What is the meaning of orchestration? Managing the Docker is called as orchestration. So for the Kubernetes in the market nowadays, the alternate is OpenShift. What is the alternate for the Kubernetes? OpenShift, right? As a developer, along with the Java, you need to learn these tools. If you learn all these tools, 80% of the DevOps also you know. Apart from these tools, DevOps engineers will learn Terraform, Ansible, Nexus. 3 other tools are available. If you know those 3 tools also, you can keep Java with DevOps in your resume. Are you getting my point? So as a Java developer, not only development, we should know operations also in the project. After we are writing the code, how that code is packaging, how that code is deploying, which tools they are using to automate the deployment of the project. As a developer, we should know that work as well. Clear with my point? So nowadays, for the developers also, they are asking, do you know Docker or not? Do you know Jenkins or not? Do you know Kubernetes or not? Do you know Maven or not? Do you know GitHub or not? They're asking. Now, if you go to the DevOps with AWS, let me show you. What are the tools available in the DevOps with AWS? In the DevOps with AWS, what is the first tool? Git. We are going to learn that Git. What is the next tool? Maven. What is the next tool? What is the next tool? Jenkins. Here Sonar type excuse Nexus. Nexus will be there. Ansible will be available. And what is this? Docker is available. And what is this? Kubernetes is available. That means, so some of the DevOps tools also getting covered here or not? Yes, 80% of the DevOps tools also we are covering. What are the tools which we are not covering for the DevOps is? One is Ansible and the next one is Terraform. There will be another tool called Terraform. This tool we are not covering. That is not required for the Java people. Getting my point? Yes, perfect. Any question on these tools? Any question on these tools now? Memory. Yeah, it is a temporary memory to store the data. That data we can access from our application. Instead of we are communicating with the database for the static data, we will communicate with the Redis cache to get the data. Redis cache execution will be faster than database query execution. It is a separate software. We have to install that. Yeah. Anyone having any question on the tools? Now you understand as a developer, what are the tools we need to know and what is the purpose of the tool? Just a basic idea. What are the tools we have to learn as a developer and what is the purpose of the tool? Now tell me, if you know only Java coding, can you do a project in the company? 100% impossible. 100% it is impossible. Only with Java, you cannot complete the project. Along with Java, some tools also you need to know. How to compile the project, how to package the project, how to deploy the project, how to automate the deployment, how to unit test the project, how to test the project, how to review the project. All the tools knowledge is also mandatory for every Java developer. So if you know Java development plus tools, that is called real-time project. How people will develop a project in the real time? So same thing we are going to do here with Java, Spring Boot, microservices plus tools. So that's why this course is called as a Java real-time project. What is the meaning of real-time project? complete end-to-end process we should see. How to get the requirement, how to analyze the requirement, how to design the requirement, how to develop, how to test, how to deploy, how to deliver, how to automate the deployment process, how to automate the build process, how to identify the issues in the project, how to fix the issues, everything end to end we should be able to do it on your own. Then you will be called as real-time developer. So in the company, so along with the Java knowledge, tools knowledge is also mandatory. Clear, guys? So total, how many tools we are going to learn in our course? 20 plus tools we are going to learn in our course. Are you going to use all the tools in the project? No. In the project, they may not use cache. Some projects may use cache. Some projects may not use cache. Some projects may use Kafka. Some projects may not use Kafka. Some projects may use Docker Kubernetes, may not use Docker Kubernetes. Some people may use Jenkins, may not use Jenkins. Some people will use GitHub, they may not use Bitbucket. Some people will use Gradle, they may not use Maven. Some people may not use Jira. So these tools are not mandatory to use in every project. So company to company, project to project, tools may change. Tools may change. Getting my point? Yes. So now I'm open for questions, guys. Are we going to use Jira or is there anything other? I will show you how to work with Jira in the course. We will create trial version of the Jira and I will show you practically how we are going to use Jira in the company. I will show you that. Yes, next. Any other doubts, online students? Before starting our discussion related to Maven, do you guys have any other questions? Are you clear with all the tools and what is the purpose of the tool? Just to review the tools. Guys, people are asking, what are the tools that you are going to teach here? I will teach Jira. I will teach Maven and Gradle. Both we are going to learn. I will teach GitHub and Bitbucket. Both we are going to learn. Logging, these tools we are going to learn. Log monitoring, these tools we are going to learn. These tools, everything. Whatever I have mentioned here, everything will be covered. I will teach both Maven and Gradle. I will teach both GitHub and Bitbucket also. You will learn all these things. We are going to use these tools in the projects also. It is not like just we are learning the tools. Same tools we are going to use in our project development as well. How are you going to teach Jira and Splunk? Trial version you can create. Trial version you can create for the Jira. Are you going to cover MongoDB? I will show you one example with MongoDB. For MongoDB, already I have uploaded videos. How to perform CAD operations with MongoDB and Spring Boot. I will show you one example. Videos also already there in the YouTube, in our channel. Yep. Next question. Online students, please type your question in the chat box. I will read that. Do we have class on Saturday and Sunday also? Chandrasekhar, Saturday Pakka class is there. Sunday sometimes it will be there. Saturday class it is regular for us. Are you, Vaibhav, are you going to cover Spring Boot MVC Data JPA? No. Spring Boot MVC Data JPA will be covered in the Spring Boot course. Evening 5 PM Spring Boot course is running. In that, those topics will be covered. Are you going to cover entire Docker and Kubernetes? So entire Docker and Kubernetes means how much knowledge is required for the developer, that I'm going to cover. Are you going to provide the study material? Yes. Daily, whatever I am writing, the same thing I will upload in the portal. You will get the daily class notes. Yes, class notes will be provided. Timings. No, daily class timing will be 9:30 to 11:30. No other timing. Other slots not available. Yep. Perfect. Are you good? Shall we start with Maven? Can we use any other database as alternate? We are going to work with 3 to 4 types of databases. Oracle, MySQL, H2, Mongo, Postgres, different databases we are going to see. Lakshmi, class notes you will get. I already told. Class notes you will access from our website. Okay. Let me connect to website. Guys, did you get the portal access for JRTP? No? Today you will get that. Today, new Zoom link will be available for the Spring Boot class. Zoom link will be changed. We will update the new Zoom link in the portal. And remember, when you are attending Spring Boot class, Zoom link online people mainly, register with your valid email ID which you have given to Ashok IT. If your mail ID is valid, then only you can get the link to attend the class. We are going to approve your mail ID to attend the Spring Boot class. If you register with a dummy mail ID, you cannot attend the class. With one mail ID, only one person can attend the class. If you share your Zoom link to your friend also, there is no use. They can't attend. We are going to manually approve each and every registration. Whatever the mail ID you have given to admin team, if you sign up in the Zoom with that mail ID, then only you will get the approval for today 5 p.m. class. Today 5 p.m. class will be there with the new Zoom link. Please register with that link with the valid email ID. Already WhatsApp group is created. In that group, I will update when the link is changed. After this class is completed, I will share the new Zoom link in the portal. Register before the class timing. Admin will verify your email ID, will approve your registration. Once they approve, then you will get a mail with the new link to attend the class. With that new link, only one person can attend the class. You cannot share the Zoom link with your friends. I see that people are sharing the links with their friends. From today, that is not accepted. That is not accepted. Even if you have the Zoom link, you can't attend the class with a duplicate mail ID. Only one person can attend the class with one link. I will update that link in the portal now. You can download the class notes, guys. The people who are belongs to Spring Boot, Module 3 full stack people, already we added to WhatsApp group. All of you added to WhatsApp group? Yes, if anybody is not added, please talk to admin team. Whoever is completed the enrollment, them also added to WhatsApp group. In the WhatsApp group, in another 30 minutes, I will give you an update. Link is changed. In that link, you need to register with a valid mail ID. When you only online people, not for offline. Only online people has to register. Their mail ID will be verified with the payment detail. If it is available, then only it will be approved. Otherwise, it will not be approved. So don't wait till the last minute. By 3 o'clock, we have to complete the approvals today. Right. Perfect, guys. Next, someone is asking, is Spring Boot is free for project students? No. Spring Boot course is 8,000, project course is 8,000. It is not free. How can we give for free, man? It is 4 months course. Yes, right, guys. Let's get started with Maven. Perfect. So this is the first tool that we are going to start in our JRTP. Maven. You already know what is Maven, right? Yes. So can you guys tell me what is Maven? Maven is a build tool. Maven is a build tool developed by Apache organization. We are already using Apache Tomcat. Tomcat software developed by Apache organization. Similarly, this Maven software is also developed by Apache organization. Maven is a build tool developed by Apache organization. Maven is developed using Java language. Maven is developed by using Java language. That means if you want to use Maven in your computer, first Java should be installed in your computer. Without Java, we can't run the Maven. Without Java, we can't run the Maven. Maven is a build tool developed by Apache organization. Maven is developed using Java language. Maven is free software. Maven is free software. You no need to pay anything for Apache to use the Maven. It is free of cost. You can directly download and you can use that project in your computer. Maven is a build tool developed by Apache. Maven is developed using Java language. Maven is free software. What is the purpose of the Maven? Maven is used to automate build process of the project. Maven is used to automate build process of the project. What is the meaning of build process? What is the build process? Can you guys tell me what is the build process? By using Maven, we can add the dependencies. We can download required dependencies, right? So downloading the required dependencies, download required dependencies by using Maven and add the dependencies to project build path. Not only downloading, add dependencies to project build path. In advanced Java, we added the dependency to the build path manually. From now onwards, do I need to add the dependency to build path or Maven will do that? Maven is going to do that. Download required dependencies. Add the dependencies to project build path. And the next one, compile project source code. Next one, compile project source code. Okay, guys. And the next one, execute unit test cases of project. Basically, whatever the JUnits we are developing, those JUnits will be executed by our Maven. By using Maven, we can package our project as jar or war file. If our project is developed as a standalone project, that project will be packaged as a jar file. If our project is developed as a web application, that will be packaged as a war file. So can you guys tell me what is a Maven and what is the purpose of a Maven? What is Maven and what is the purpose of the Maven? Come on. Right. Maven is a build tool developed by Apache organization. Maven is developed using Java language and Maven is free software. Maven is used to automate build process of the project. What Maven can do? What Maven can do? Maven can, here we can create project folder structure. Create project folder structure using Maven. For standalone project, for web project, structure will be different. So Maven can create the project folder structure, depends on type of the project. You can create both the standalone project by using Maven and you can create web application also by using Maven. So what Maven can do? Create project folder structure, download required dependencies. What is the meaning of downloading the dependencies? I want a Hibernate, I want a Spring, etc. What are the dependencies that are required for the project? We can download them by using Maven. Not only downloading the dependency, Maven will add the dependencies to the project build path and Maven can compile the source code. We have the .java file. That .java file will be converted to .class file. And what is executing unit test cases? When you perform the unit testing, those test classes will run by Maven. We don't need to run the test classes. Maven will run those test classes and package our project as jar file or war file. So standalone project will be packaged as a jar and web application will be packaged as a war file. Now let me do environment setup for the Maven. Okay guys, how to install Maven in our system. So in order to install the Maven, first download and install Java software. I hope already have Java in your system. Download and install Java software. Once the Java software is downloaded, set Java underscore home. Set Java underscore home. And the third one, set path for Java. So these are the first three things that you need to do in order to work with the Maven. Some people are not able to create Maven project in the Eclipse. The problem is environment setup. So here, in order to use the Maven, first you need to download and install Java software. So not only downloading and installing, you need to set the Java home and you need to set the path for Java. First, let me do that. Okay. So in my system, Java is already installed. Let me show you. C program files Java. Which version of Java is available? JDK 11 version is available. Which version? JDK 11 version. So up to JDK 11, we have to copy the path. So the address, copy up to JDK 11. Then go to edit system environment variables. You need to go for system environment variables and go to environment variables. Here, can you see Java home is already available? Can you see Java home is already available? Java home, we are setting up to bin directory or up to JDK directory? Up to JDK directory only we need to set the Java home. So like this, we need to set Java underscore home is equal to this path. Up to JDK directory, we need to give the path. In which directory your Java software is installed, take the location of the Java and set the Java home in the environment variable. After Java home is done, let's go for path. In the path, we need to configure Java path. How we are configuring the Java path? Up to bin directory. You see here, Java path is available up to bin directory. Up to bin directory, we need to configure the Java path. Click on OK. Now here, set path for Java. Already path is available. For existing path, we need to add up to bin directory. Home we are going to set up to JDK directory. Path we are going to set up to bin directory. With this, Java setup is completed, not Maven setup. Why we are setting up Java to work with Maven? Why we are setting Java to work with the Maven? Maven is developed by using Java. So to work with the Maven, Java is mandatory. So we need to download and install Java, set the Java home and set the Java path. So how to check it? Go to environment variables, go to here system variables, you see Java home. If it is not available, add that. Then go to path. Here already path is available. Edit that. Java path is available. Clear with my point? Yes, okay. Okay, done. Next one, download Maven zip file. Java will be downloaded and will be installed. Maven we no need to install. We need to download the Maven as a zip file. So next fourth step, download Maven software from Apache website. Download Maven software from Apache website. Then it will be download from Apache website as zip file. Then fifth step, extract that Maven zip file. Okay. Then sixth step, set Maven home in environment variables. How we are setting the Java home? Same we need to set for the Maven home. And the next, set Maven, set path for Maven. So Java, for Java, we are setting the Java home and we are setting path for Java. Similarly, set Maven home in the environment variables. It should be capital. Maven underscore home in the environment variable. Then we need to set the path for Maven. Java path already we configured. Now we need to set Maven home and Maven path. Let me download Maven software. So go to Google and download Apache Maven. Not Tomcat. Download Apache Maven. So download Apache Maven from official website. Now see here, Apache Maven zip file is available. Apache Maven binary zip archive is available. Let's copy. I will give the link. Let's click on this. When I click on this, what happened? That zip file is downloaded. So here I'm going to give the link to download that. So when you type this link in the browser, then Maven zip file will be downloaded. So let me go here, go to downloads. Yep, Apache Maven bin is downloaded. Let's extract. Let's extract. When I extract it, it will create Apache Maven folder. Yes, Apache Maven is created. Now let me copy this Apache Maven 3.9.0 and I will keep that in the C directory. This C directory, keep it here. Now I kept Apache Maven in the C directory. Right. Apache Maven is available. Now take this Apache Maven, copy this location, right? Don't go inside the bin directory, from outside only copy this. Then go to environment variables, system variables. Here create the new, type the variable name as Maven underscore home. What is the value? Apache Maven. Like this, we need to set that. So Java home is available up to JDK. Maven home is available up to Maven directory. Clear? Once that Maven home is configured. So here how I am setting Maven underscore home. I'm giving Maven underscore home is equal to this value. Maven underscore home is equal to this value. Then what is the last step? What is the last step? Set path for the Maven. To set the path, take the bin directory, copy this bin directory and go to environment variable. Then go to path, edit. Here Maven path is available, Maven path is not available. Not available. Click on new, click on add. Apache Maven bin directory is available. JDK bin directory. JDK bin is representing Java path. Maven bin directory representing Maven path. So with this, Maven setup is completed in our Windows operating system. Are you clear? Now go to command prompt and verify Maven is working or not. For that, mvn-v. mvn-v. Now, can you see Apache Maven 3.9 is displaying? That means Maven setup is completed in our system. Maven is working in our system. Are you guys clear with my point? Yes. So how to verify Java version? Java-version. How to verify Maven version? mvn-v. Whenever you type mvn-v, if you are getting this Maven version details, that means Maven setup is completed successfully. So once set Maven path is completed, verify Maven installation. Verify Maven installation using CMD, command prompt. What is the command we need to type? What is the command? mvn-v. So if that command is displaying the version of the Maven, that means Maven version is working, Maven software is working. If anybody is not able to create the Maven project in the Eclipse IDE or Spring Toolsuit IDE, after doing this Maven setup, go to C directory, and you will have users directory. Your username will be available. Here .m2 folder is available. Close your IDE, delete the .m2 folder, restart your IDE. Then Maven will work in your system. So what is that .m2? We will discuss in the tomorrow session. If anybody not able to create Maven project in the Eclipse or in the Spring Toolsuit, delete this .m2 folder, set up the Maven, restart your IDE. Then Maven will work, because some repository files will be downloaded into this .m2. If that file is corrupted, you cannot create the project. That's why delete the .m2 and restart your IDE. Again, it will create the .m2 folder. So before doing that, first you need to complete this environment setup. You need to install the Java and configure Java home and configure path for the Java. Download the Maven software, extract that Maven zip file, and you add the Maven home to the environment variable and set the path for the Maven. Once the Maven path is completed, verify Maven is working or not. If you give mvn-v, then it will display Maven version. If you are able to see the version, that means Maven is working. Now, if you are not able to create Maven project in IDE, then close your IDE and delete .m2 folder and start and open your IDE. So .m2, if you delete that whatever the files which are not downloaded properly will be deleted, and again it is going to download. And remember, when we are working with the Maven, internet connection is mandatory for your system. Maven will download the softwares from the internet. Without using internet, you can't use Maven in the local. So if you want to download the dependency, then Maven should connect it to the internet. Once the dependencies are downloaded, next time internet is not required. First time when it has to download the dependencies which you are configuring, net connection is mandatory for your computer. Are you clear? Still anybody not able to create the project using Maven in the IDE? Spring projects you are creating by using Maven, right? Still anybody not able to do that creation? Yesterday some people came to me, I solved their problem. What I have done yesterday is, in your system, I have done this environment setup. Yesterday people came to me with laptop. We are not able to create the Maven project. In their laptops, I have done this configuration and I deleted the .m2 folder, restarted the IDE. If anybody facing that issue, do this operation. Are you clear? Yes. So today I want everyone to complete this Maven setup. You will get the portal access for JRTP. I'm going to upload the class notes in the website now. Yeah, 1 minute. So it is Java real-time project. Yeah, class notes. Okay. Yes, in the website, I have uploaded the class notes, guys. Portal access you will get by afternoon. And for Spring Boot, new Zoom link will be available. Register in the new Zoom link, online students. Your email ID should be approved by admin team. Then only you will attend the class. After you register in the Zoom, we will approve your mail ID and you will get a new email to your mail with the new Zoom link. With the Zoom link, only one person can attend the class. Thank you. With this, I'm stopping now. Today, we will attend evening 5 o'clock Spring Boot class will be available. Tomorrow, we will try to create the Maven projects and we'll perform operations on the Maven. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Today class is available in the YouTube. You can check that. Fine. Thank you, guys. We'll meet in the today evening class for the Spring Boot. Bye-bye. Omshi, stop it.